Hello, my dear Torchbearers. Welcome to the lesson 4, the doctrine of five elements. The focus of this discussion would be to give you an idea of the principle on which Ayurveda works. Before I start, I would like to say that this is a completely different way of thinking than what we have learned. And the science was developed at a time when there was no microscope, telescope, or any other modern devices. Since the dawn of time, humans have striven for knowledge, motivated by existential reasons or curiosity. And in the process of searching, analyzing, and validating information, different theories have emerged. The theory of Panchamahabhuta or five elements is one such theory, originated from the efforts to understand the true nature of world and the universe. To date, humans have discovered and invented many things that make life physically pleasant. From electricity to smartphones, from horse drawn carriages to spaceships, all these inventions aim to improve travel, communication, luxury, etc. But the difference is the ancient Vedic scholars focused on discovering the inner science, the materials within the body, aiming to make life mentally and spiritually comfortable, leading to a healthy life free from mental and physical worries. So, to start with, what is knowledge? The information obtained, analyzed, and skillfully applied for a specific purpose is called knowledge. Information is the collection of data from our surroundings or environment. And how do we get information, or how do you understand the environment? What tools are needed to collect information from the environment? Tools for understanding the environment or gathering information from the environment are the five senses or five indriyas. We see, hear, touch, taste, and smell to obtain information from the environment. These five senses are known as five indriyas in Ayurveda. And these are Shravana Indriya, which helps us to perceive sounds and tones, that is the auditory sense organ. Sparshana Indriya, which helps us to perceive something through touch, that is the tactile sense organ. Darshana Indriya, to perceive something through seeing, visual sense organ. Rasana Indriya, to perceive through taste, gustatory sense organ. And Grana Indriya, to perceive through smell, olfactory sense organ. These are the five sense organs or five indriyas. The information we receive through these five indriyas or sense organs is called direct information or pratyaksha knowledge. And these information we receive from pratyaksha knowledge is further analyzed with the help of manas, which can literally be translated as mind. This method of analysis and reasoning with the help of manas is called anumana knowledge. So, the five indriyas are the means to attain the pratyaksha knowledge, and manas is responsible for attaining the anumana knowledge. Therefore, manas is also considered as the sixth indriya or the sixth sense organ. In summary, I say that the information in the environment is in the form of sound, touch, sight, taste, and smell. And means to attain these information are pratyaksha knowledge with five indriyas and anumana with the sixth indriya manas. The question now is, what factors are responsible for sound, touch, sight, taste, and smell in the environment? There are factors that represent the things that surround us in the form of sound, touch, shape, taste, and smell, right? And these responsible factors are the Panchamahabhutas, the five elements. The element that makes a matter audible is Akasha or space. The element that makes a matter tactile is Vayu or air. The element that makes a matter visible is Agni or fire. The element that makes a matter tasteable or gustatable is Jala or water. The element that makes a matter smellable or olfactable is Prithvi or earth. The origin of Panchamahabhuta can be traced back to the creation of the universe. They emerged from Mula Prakriti or Avyakta, the unmanifest source or the unknown source. And during this cosmic unfolding, Akasha was formed first. From Akasha came Vayu. Vayu gave rise to Agni. From Agni came Jala, and from Jala, Prithvi was born. But how do we understand this sequence? It is through the gradual addition of sensory qualities. See, Akasha is associated with sound. That is, Akasha can be heard. Vayu is associated with sound and touch. Vayu can be heard and touched. Fire or Agni is associated with sound, touch, and form. That means fire can be heard, touched, as well as seen. Water or Jala is associated with sound, touch, sight, and taste. That means water can be heard, touched, seen, and tasted. And earth or Prithvi is associated with sound, touch, sight, taste, and smell. That means Prithvi or earth can be heard, touched, seen, tasted, and smelled. Hence, we say that first Akasha and then from Akasha Vayu and so on. This does not mean that Akasha has been completely converted into Vayu and Vayu has been completely converted into Agni, etc. But a part of Akasha has been transformed into Vayu and a part of Vayu into Agni and so on. We would be making a mistake if we understood that these elements as sky, air, fire, water, and earth, which we see with naked eye. These Panchamahabhutas are subtle in their original form, perceived as very small particles and are not visible to the naked eye. These elements were put together in various permutations and combination, resulting in the formation of all living and non-living things that we perceive in this world around us. This means that all the things we see around us are made up of Panchamahabhutas. For example, just as we know that the neurons are the structural and functional unit of the nervous system, these Panchamahabhutas are the structural and functional unit of all living and non-living things that we see, touch, taste, smell, and hear. The Vedic seers believed that the Panchamahabhutas first divided themselves into two parts, one of which was further divided into four parts. 1/8 of each subtle element then combined with the other half. It was also assumed that this process of division and combination continued until the coarse elements were formed. Today, it will be difficult for us to prove and understand how these calculations were carried out thousands of years ago. But we cannot simply ignore this knowledge as we have ample evidence in the form of astronomy and Ayurveda. We already discussed the examples in Module 1. According to Panchamahabhuta theory, everything in this world, whether living or inanimate, natural or artificial, consists of the five elements. Human body also consists of Panchamahabhutas. Ayurveda opines that we are created from the permutation and combination of Panchamahabhutas. Prithvi, Jala, Agni, Vayu, Akasha. Thus we represent nature in a miniature form. And the association of soul with this Panchamahabhutas initiate the process of life. We die when this soul separates from the body. The presence of the soul differentiates us from the inert elements. The Panchamahabhuta takes part in the formation of different tissues and organs, that is, the structural components of the body. I always wonder how it is possible to find out this theory and justifies this theory of evolution. And how is it possible for a human to grasp such subtle details in an age when we lack the assistance of technology? They use the root cause analysis method to find answers to their questions. Nowadays, we also call it the YYT tree diagram method. How was this root cause analysis carried out? Through concentration and looking into the human body, mind, and soul. We all agree that the human body is the microcosm of the universe, which in turn is the macrocosm. Answers to these questions can therefore be found within ourselves. How did they do that? By traveling from the effect to the cause. Questions about why, what, how, where, and when. From material objects to the source of creation, they embarked on a journey back to the root cause. If you are interested to know about the evolution theory in Indian science, I'll give you some references like Sankhya Darshana, textbooks like Tarka Sangraha, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads. They all have the evidences and the references of evolution theory according to the Padartha Vijnana. Now we know that our body, like all other substances, is made up of Panchamahabhuta or five elements. Everything that forms five elements is called as Bhautika, that is physical. This means that our body is also known as Bhautika body because it is formed of Panchamahabhutas or five elements. And this body is nourished with the right Bhautika food because all those food is also formed of five elements. Improper food intake or inappropriate behavior can lead to disturbances in the Mahabhutas, in the five elements, and different diseases are formed in the body. Then we use the appropriate Bhautika medicines to balance the Panchamahabhutas in the Bhautika bodies. If someone is sick, we should analyze what is the problem with his five elements and then give him the medicine which contains the right proportion of five elements for his present conditions. The next question that concerns us is how can we know that there is an imbalance of five elements in the body? And further, how can we analyze the five element components in a medicine or a plant? For better understanding and study or analyze the functioning of the body, Ayurveda has grouped five elements into three. The space and air elements together form Vata. Fire and water element together form Pitta, and water and earth element together form Kapha energy. In this lesson, we delve into the fundamental concepts of Panchamahabhuta and we explored their unique qualities, their sequence of origin, and their grouping into three doshas. Now, let's take a quick revision.